I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I knew it. I love when he does that.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Adrenaline in my soul, something, Cody Rhodes. I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
Time. But let me go ahead and tell you.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 443 of the Hoots Podcast. As the countdown to 500 episodes continue. Boy, these shows keep flying by. 57 more to go, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, December 13, 2024, as I'm recording this here at 9 o'clock in the morning here in Chicago. It is just truly the nefarious brother Adam, a.k.a. Joshie Lopez. Hope each and every single one of you are having a good week so far during this holiday season. Your boy's in good spirits in the best way that I can explain it. So excited to be here. I apologize. This is going to be a little bit more of a abbreviated edition of the podcast this week. Hopefully we'll get back to a regular routine and a longer shows like we used to do. But I got a lot of stuff going on here at the house and some other stuff that I need to put my priorities to. So this is going to be a little shorter of an episode this week. So I'm going to do this monologue. There's not going to be a This Week in WWE because I got a lot of questions regarding WWE in the back porch Q&A session, and I'll touch on that stuff in that segment. But first and foremost, please do me a couple pieces of favors here. First and foremost, please hit the like button and smash the subscribe button on YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I appreciate the support for anybody who still continues to watch or listen to this podcast each week. We've been doing this show since 2016, so the fact that you guys still care is pretty dope to me. And we're getting closer to 1.8 million downloads and plays on Spotify for creators, which is pretty cool. And the best way to really support this podcast is subscribing on YouTube, and more importantly, following us on Spotify, or even streaming the show on Spotify. That would really help us out a lot as far as that is concerned. Also, if you want to help me out on my own end, outside of the mic, off the air, you can check out my transcripts at WrestlingHeadlines.com in the results section. So if you ever want to see any of my play-by-play articles for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the PLEs, plus Saturday night's main event coming up tomorrow, which I'm very excited to cover for the first time. Yeah, I appreciate the support. Man, these weeks keep going by so fast, man. Like, to think that Thanksgiving was like 3 weeks ago. It's just like Survivor Series was 3 weeks ago. We had NXT Deadline last week. This past Saturday that I covered. Now we got Saturday night's main event tomorrow night. In a crazy way to wrap up this 2024 for yours truly when it comes to transcripts. And I feel like this has been one of my better years as far as quality is concerned. When it comes to my transcripts, we have this like grading system on WordPress, which is called SEO, which basically it's like an indicator of how good your article is being tracked on like Google search engines and stuff like that. So the highest you can get is a green score on SEO, and even if you get like an orange one, it's not a bad thing, but the green is the highest one that you can get. And I've been on a hot streak. I think the last article I did that didn't have like a green SEO score was probably back in like July or August. So I've been on a hot streak. It's pretty cool to see that my articles rank as high as outlets as CBS and Forbes and stuff like that. And I think it's great that those major platforms are having wrestling coverage and stuff like that. I kind of wish that they were hiring me to do that stuff, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. I'm very proud of the work that I put in. I need to get myself back in the frame of mind where I need to start like really recognizing the good stuff that I'm doing, and I need to acknowledge that and put a bigger point of view on that stuff, and then what I'm not doing, and the stuff that I deal with on a daily basis, and just really recognize that there's a lot of good things to look forward to in the future, and that I try to regain some perspective on things, and that I'm not where I want to be right now. I'm not 100% happy. I think anybody that's have listened to like my mental health updates or anything like that can tell that I'm not truly happy here in Chicago. I just feel like I'm just seen by just like whistling in the wind here, and it's just like counting down the days to like finally get out of here. But I want to keep this positive because there's just times when comes to these situations when you're in the process of making a major life decision, and uprooting your life and moving in general. Like there's things that you have to adjust to and things you have to adapt to, and I realize that now, and getting to meet the new landlord here at my house. He offered me an opportunity where I wouldn't have to move just yet to my old block or anything like that when my lease comes to an end at the end of January. So I was blessed with a great opportunity here, which is really not bad given my current situation. Obviously, it sucks on many levels that I have not been able to work as much as I would want to at my grandfather's guitar shop. Obviously, yeah, the money's nice, and it's nice to have cash and stuff attached to you. And I'm a really big routine guy, so when I'm off my routine, it kind of throws me off in a way. Which probably hasn't helped me for the last couple weeks. I'll be honest with that, but try to keep the main thing. The main thing. I still wake up and do my walks every day. I'm still doing meal preps. I am drinking gratuitous amounts of water. So even in this downtime right now, like obviously I'm bummed out for the fact that I don't get to go to the guitar shop, obviously, because I wanted to spend that time with my grandfather. And yeah, I want the money, but I'm glad in a way that I always can rely on wrestling because, to be considered one of the top play-by-play writers amongst the wrestling media is something that I don't take lightly, and it's a challenge to make sure that each one stands out more than the last one that I did. And I don't think anybody puts as much thought or effort into these transcripts than I do when it comes to these wrestling shows. And that's not being cocky or anything like that, but just comparing the amount of thought and effort and time that I put into these pieces compared to what's out there, where it's just quick summarizing of quick summations of what's going on with the matches and stuff like that. No, I'm not taking any shortcuts. I leave no stone unturned when it comes to making these pieces, and I'm very, very proud of the work that I put out this year, because it's not easy covering these shows live. And mind you, the amount of detail that I'm putting out there while the show's happening, yeah, I might be sometimes 5 minutes behind or 10 minutes behind the live broadcast, but I'm giving you some top tier shit that you're not going to get anywhere else. So if you guys could really help me out, please support my articles at WrestlingHeadlines.com. I deeply appreciate it. So like I was saying, going back to the moving stuff, my landlord offered me a good opportunity to, do like a month-to-month thing until I have whatever I need, or I hit the number that I've been wanting to get to make this move in full motion. And obviously, I think the best way that I can describe my ETA or whatever to Florida is that right now it's fluid as far as when I'm going to be there, but I'm not changing my mind as far as not going to Florida. I'm going to Florida. That's not changing anytime soon. I'm not changing my mind, but it's fluid. If something comes up with the next couple weeks or in January where I get my second job, I'm out of here. If I don't have a second job by the time my lease comes to an end, then I'll have to stay for maybe another month or two. But it's not the end of the world because I'm not wavering off or anything. I don't have any doubts about going to Florida. This is the biggest life decision that I've ever made, and I want to go about it the right way. And so I'm gonna get there. And once I get my second job, I'm out of there. So if that takes me to March, so be it. If that takes me to April, so be it. At this point, I am going to move, and this is something for me that I need to like push through and take this one day at a time, because like I feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself when it comes to this situation, and at the end of the day, it's really nobody else's decision but my own. Whether people want to agree with that or not, that's really none of my business or concern at this point. Like, I'm going to Florida. Nobody's talking me out of it. When it comes to the ETA and when I get there, I'll decide that too myself. But I'm looking forward to it, man, because this is not something where I'm going to be here in the summertime. Hell no. That is not happening whatsoever. But anyways, there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to this weekend. I am really excited to transcribe the Saturday night's main event show. I don't think I ever did. This is one of the few that I've have not had an opportunity to cover. Maybe if there's something that happened in the 2010s, maybe. But I think the last one that they did was probably in like the late 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. But to transcribe a live special on NBC is a big deal for me. As a kid who grew up watching like Chicago Bulls basketball on NBC with my dad, and bring back a lot of memories, or watching Sunday Night Football with John Madden and Al Michaels. A lot of good memories on NBC. So the fact that I get to transcribe a show on that live primetime television on Saturday, probably before Saturday Night Live, is a pretty big deal. So I'm looking forward to it. This card looks pretty good from top to bottom. The show will be taking place on Long Island, New York, or in Long Island. Which one is it? No, I'm kidding. My guy Andrew Mandela would kick me right in the ass if he heard me say in Long Island. Shout out to my guy Andrew Mandela. He's the man. Anyways, what else do I want to talk about real quick before I get to the Q&A session? Oh yes, Chicago sports, man. That is a international mystery that must be studied, because I hope there's filmmakers out there that are writing out outlines and scripts, because it has to be documented on how pitiful the current state is of Chicago sports. I've never seen this in my time. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and we are a glutton for punishment. It's the best way I can describe it as Chicago sports fans. But I also think as us as sports fans, and in people who work in the media, we carry ourselves with a bravado that we don't, we haven't earned yet. I think too many times the fans here and our on-air radio hosts try to act like this is a New York type of atmosphere, or LA or Boston and stuff like that. And yeah, Chicago's a big market, but you have to earn the right to claim that type of standard in that way, is how I look at it. Yeah, you can hold your teams to the fire and hold them accountable for their mistakes and stuff like that, but it's gotten to the point now where you're not really, when you like try to follow along with teams, especially on my end, since I don't own this brand new Chicago sports network where you have to get a fucking antenna to watch these stupid ass games. Like, I haven't been able to watch one full Bulls game this season. or the Blackhawks. And my White Sox are going to be on that same network too. But I haven't had a chance to watch it because, you have to pay extra money to get it or be attendant. No, I'm not paying $60 for Famersham Comcast Sportsnet. Like, no, I'm not doing it. But anyways, my point is, there has to be some documentary or something to be studied on the current landscape and why it's so bad here with every single major professional sports league in the city. It's just grade A, homogenized, whatever the hell they're going to call the stadium in Arlington Heights bullshit. Like, it amazes me how pitiful we are. The White Sox, worst regular season record of all time. The Bears, a national laughingstock year in, year out. The Bulls, settlers, bland basketball. Blackhawks, more out of the ice controversies than AEW backstage. I can keep going here. The Cubs, Tom Ricketts. Hey man, you really reshaped Wrigleyville because it looked like a pigsty for a while. But guess what? You're still cheap, and you don't worry about actually what's important in trying to build a winner for your franchise. It's really bad, man. Like I wear my heart. I wear the city of my heart on my sleeve. I'm proud to say that I was born and raised in Chicago. Proud to be a Chicagoan. That'll never leave me when I do move to Florida. But, like, I'm not going to lie. Part of me is looking forward to rooting for some new teams when I go down to Florida. I'm not going to lie. Like, this... what's going on with the Bears this season is just so absolutely mind-numbing to me that I get more enjoyment playing Madden than I do watching my favorite football team. It's insane to me. Like, it's the same thing every single season. Oh, bad offensive play calling. Gotta fire the coach. Gotta fire the offensive coordinator. Oh, there's tension with the general manager and the president. And George McCaskey couldn't tell what's a good football player or coach if it slapped him in the face. Like, oh my God, man. Me and my buddy Sam Piopo at Second City Sam, make sure to follow Sam there. We coined this phrase, and I think we got this little inspiration from Carlson Brown, so I'm not going to act as if this is an original idea, but we had this phrase, and we use a hashtag. So whenever you see a Chicago sports team on primetime television, just like, fortunately, all of you will have to see my Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football this Monday against the Minnesota Vikings, make sure to put the hashtag out there, We Stinks. Can you do that for me? I knew that we needed to do like We Stinks t-shirts or maybe like a We Stinks like water jug type of thing. Like that'd be pretty cool. If anybody's good with designing and making merchandise, help out your boy. I would appreciate it. But yeah, We Stinks, man. I am a glutton for punishment, but Chicago sports is making me numb at this point. Like, I'm way past the point of like going on a rant and like popping a blood vessel over these seasons because they don't care. They're cheap. They wouldn't know good talent if it smacked them in the face across the board. And you can put that on the board. Yes, that'll be all. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's on my mind this week. When we come back, we'll answer your questions for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session right here on episode 443 of the Hoots Podcast. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 443 of the Hoots Podcast. What I'm going to do here on the pod, or the podcast at Hoots. No. I want to mention really quick, give a big birthday shout out to the GOAT, Taylor Swift. On her 35th birthday today. Shout out to Miss Swift. And a big salute to her for wrapping up her epic Eras tour that just concluded this past weekend in Vancouver, British Columbia. Through a great friend of mine, I've grown to admire Taylor Swift from afar. I've always had, I've always liked Taylor Swift over the years, even when it was not popular, I guess, to be a fan of hers or whatever. But like I've always admired her and her ability for her creating her songs while playing an instrument at the same time. I've always admired that about her. That's probably the main thing that I've always liked about her. Also, the fact that she's just an awesome person and probably one of the more down-to-earth celebrities you'll probably ever have a chance to meet. I hope I do get the opportunity one day to meet her or get a chance to play for her band. That'd be something that'd be really cool. But I've always admired Taylor Swift. And absolutely, she's a smoke show. She's definitely one of the most beautiful women out there in the world. Like, that's not even a question. But regardless, to see what she accomplished with this tour, the stuff with the re-releases of her old albums where she re-records these songs for her own rights, which is pretty cool to see as well. And then, dropping in Midnights and Tortured Poet Departments in between, like, this killer albums, like, all in, like, a 3 or 4 year cycle, plus this crazy tour that just went on. This girl's been printing out money to the likes of Michael Jackson. I was probably too young to really, really recognize and appreciate what Michael Jackson was doing business-wise on his concerts and tours. I was born in 94, so this was a little after the Dangerous, either the Bad or Dangerous albums came out. Like, I'm the baby that came out right before the History album came out. I was 7 years old when they had the epic 25th anniversary show for Michael Jackson at Madison Square Garden before 9/11. I was 7 years old at the time. So I've always been a fan of Michael Jackson. Obviously, I don't know who isn't, but for me, looking at it comparable and just word of mouth and stuff like that, I don't think it could be debated. She's right up there, or maybe on a higher level than Michael Jackson is. And I know some people may or not like her music and stuff like that, but for me, I really admire what she does, and she comes from a genuine point of view, and she's good on the eyes. So she's got everything. She has the it factor. No. Anyway, so I just want to send a birthday shout out to Miss Swift, and congrats on the Eras tour. Before we answer your question, I did want to play this interview that Punk did with Jackie Remmett on Raw this week. Always like to share pieces of audio as it can be used as a point of context down the road, and I like just playing good promos on this podcast. So here's CM Punk and Jackie Remmett for this past week's Monday Night Raw from Wichita, Kansas.
CM Punk, thank you for sitting down. I appreciate the time. You know what I'm going to ask you, though, right?
If you ask me about the Blackhawks, we're going to fight.
No, I'm going to ask you about something much more relevant. This favor. It's all anyone's talking about. Can you tell us anything about it?
No, I don't think that's the right time to talk about that. I think it's a personal thing. Me and Paul go back many, many years, so it's between me and Paul.
All right, fair enough. If we can't talk about the favor, let's talk about Seth Rollins. I mean, you said last week you don't think about him at all. But he's made it pretty clear he has his sights set on you, and he's willing to force the issue. How are you going to handle that?
I think it's no secret to anybody that I'm not going to shy away from a fight. If you come at me, I'll start swinging. But when it comes to Seth's hatred of me, I'm more confused than anything, because I don't hate Seth at all. I mean, I think to understand, you have to talk about the history between myself and Seth Rollins, and it goes back quite a bit. You're talking about a 16-year-old Seth Rollins came to CM Punk and asked him to train him to be a professional wrestler for free. That's the key part of that story that everyone always leaves out. Now, that entitlement, I think, has carried over into the adult Seth Rollins, who wants to be the best in the world. He wants to be on everybody's top 10 list of the greatest of all time. But I remember a time when he was on the top 10 list of people to be fired from this place, and I shielded him from that. I guess if I have to live in my shadow, I'd hate me too. Seth Rollins is extremely talented, multiple-time champion, Money in the Bank winner. Everything he did, I've done better, and I did it before he got here. Now, I don't claim to do those things because I wanted to thank you. I recognize that 16-year-old kid had all the potential in the world. And in my absence from this company, Seth did a fantastic job of filling that vacuum, but simply put, the starter's back. Second string got to sit back down on the bench.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate your honesty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Played that little promo there for Punk and Jackie Redmond for Monday Night Raw this week. Man, I'll tell you, man, I know a lot of people over the years have been always whining and crowing about Monday Night Raw not being a good show, but we're, as the kids say, we're cooking with gas these days when it comes to Monday Night Raw, especially as we're getting closer to the launch on Netflix. All right, so before I get to the question, I think it'd be fair to take a look at these matches for Saturday night's main event, taking place tomorrow on Long Island, New York, at the old school classic wrestling arena known as the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, or Long Island. Here's the matches for this event. Coming to you live from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. Coming to you live from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, New York. It is the return of WWE Saturday Night's main event on NBC. Here's your matches first. The finals of the inaugural WWE Women's United States Championship Tournament features Bayley or Chelsea Green taking out Mitchell or Tiffany Stratton. Next, a match made official a couple weeks on Monday Night Raw for the Women's World Championship. It's the champion Liv Morgan against Io Sky. Next, a match made official due to Raw General. Alright, let's do it again. Coming to you live from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. It is the return of WWE Saturday Night's main event. Here's your matches. First and foremost, for the women's. Oh man, I think I'm tongue tied because I'm remembering how bad of episode of AEW Dynamite I subjected myself to this week. I can't even do excrement right. That's how bad AEW is right now. Oh my god! All right, let's take a deep breath. Let's do this again. Whoo! All right, let's do this. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, it's the return of WWE Saturday Night's main event. Here's your matches first. The finals of the WWE Women's United States Championship pits Bayley or Chelsea Green taking out Michin or Tiffany Stratton. Match makes next for the Women's World Championship. It's the champion Liv Morgan taking out Io Sky. A match made official on Monday Night Raw. It's a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship as the ring general Gunther takes on Finn Balor and Damian Priest. A special grudge match made official on Monday Night Raw is made official as Sami Zayn takes on Drew McIntyre. And the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship is the champion Cody Rhodes taking on Kevin Owens. More matches to be announced. Make sure to follow Triple H on Twitter at Triple H and get all your tickets right now at www.com/tickets. Yeet. 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 Alright, so my predictions for Saturday night's main event will go as follows. I believe that Chelsea Green will be the winner of the inaugural United States Championship Tournament. I got Liv Morgan retaining over Io Sky. I have Gunther beating Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I got Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. I think that one either goes to a double disqualification or no contest. And I got Cody Rhodes retaining over Kevin Owens It is going to be very nice, though, to see Jesse the Body Ventura on commentary as well. So that should be pretty cool, if you know what I mean, Jellybean. All right. It's time to answer your questions for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session. No. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Throw it up. Throw up the X for the good brother Chris Zaletta at XZaletta24X on Twitter. All right. What up, Boost? Here's the question for the Q&A this week. Thoughts on Bill Belichick selecting UNC over return to the NFL? Good for him. Yeah, I know a lot of people here in Chicago are upset that the Bears didn't want to do an interview with him, but yeah, I'm not counting on Bill Belichick to revive us in 3 years and then he's going to croak or retire. Like, no. We need somebody that's going to be here for a sustainable length of success, and I can't rely on Bill Belichick right now at 73 years old. Is Josh Allen running away with the MVP? Yes, but I think they'll probably give it to Patrick Mahomes just because it's the NFL. Which match are you looking forward to the most for Saturday night's main event? That's a great question, but I say either the triple threat with Gunther, Priest, and Balor, or Cody and Kevin. But I'm also looking forward to Liv Morgan and EL Sky. I think that's going to be a very good match. By the way, I haven't mentioned this in a while. I haven't done this in a while, but if you want my opinion, and for old-time listeners of this show and the Pipe Bomb with McCool and Company, Liv Morgan is now officially it's not even a question. Liv Morgan right now is the number one waterfall on my list. man. Holy moly, donut shop, man, that girl's hot. So yeah, Liv Morgan's number one on the waterfall list. Good question there, Chris. Best match from NXT Deadline. I'm gonna go with the women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. I thought it was a lot of fun. A fun match to transcribe, and I thought Sol Ruka looked really good in the match as well. So I'm gonna go with the women's Iron Survivor Challenge. But I thought the men's one was pretty good as well. That whole NXT brand is just fun to transcribe each week. Like I put it over at nauseum at this point, but I really do enjoy the NXT brand, and it's fun to cover. Who from NXT do you see in a transfer window that ends up on Raw and SmackDown? That's a good question. Well, that's the thing. You have to see who is not in feuds with people. Do you see Andre Chase going to Raw or SmackDown? Do you have somebody like, I don't know, Lola Vice make her way up, or Jada Parker, or Cora Jade? It's hard to say right now off the top of my head who's exactly going to go to Raw and SmackDown. I think the big question is who from Raw and SmackDown will be going to NXT. I think that's the bigger question to ask. With Trick and Opa happening at New Year's Evil, does this program go all the way to Stand and Deliver? One quick answer to that question, my friend, a yes. And please make it a 3 stages of hell match, if you will. Anybody currently at NXT that would fit well into Judgment Day? Good question. I was thinking about this a lot for the past couple weeks. I think like Tatum Paxley would be just visualizing. I think Tatum Paxley would be good in it. For the looks of it, looks like Eddie Thorpe might be in it because he seems to be like a whiner and complainer, so he could fit perfectly with the Judgment Day. Eddie Thorpe, Tatum Paxley. I guess I would throw JC Jane in there, but you know JC is just so good at her job that she could fit in any group or faction. So those are the top 3 off the top of my head, but that's a good question. Between the WWE NIL and now WWE ID, will it be even roads when it comes to finding great success, or could one program out-edge the other? It's hard to say, man. I'm not into like talent development, or I don't know how that works. I think it's mutually beneficial is the best way that I can answer that. I don't think that there's going to be one way that's better than the other, because I think it's equal in the fact that, okay, yeah, you are a college athlete and you have this NIL deal, but you're not guaranteed success in WWE. Yeah, you have access to the Performance Center, but doesn't mean exactly that you're going to be on NXT. Now, just because you got ID'd as an independent wrestler, also that same caveats out there that you may not, go all the way and make it in NXT or WWE. So, it's different philosophies for the different programs. I think it's great that the WWE's not like thumbing their eye on any way to acquire talent, and they're leaving no stone unturned. And I think that's a good thing. So I wouldn't say that one program is out edging the other. I think it's mutually beneficial is the best way that I would be able to describe it. But I want to thank you, Chris, for the questions, good brother, this week. As always, you kill it. Make sure to follow Chris on Twitter, xteamsletter24x on Twitter. By the way, xteamsletter24x on Twitter. Make sure you get the handle right. As always, man, I appreciate the support, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow me at Twitter if you like at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Joshie Lopez Music. If you want to check out my transcripts, hit me up at WrestlingHeadlines.com. Remember, folks, hit the like button and smash the subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And the best way to support this podcast is following the show and streaming it on Spotify. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. And remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life besides yourself and the man upstairs. I love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys enjoy Saturday night's main event. I think it's going to be a pretty dope show. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch and transcribe. Who knows? Maybe The Rock shows up on Long Island. We'll have to see. But I'm excited for the show. It's going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to it. But on that note, I'm Joshie. This has been episode 443 of the Hoots Podcast. As the road to episode 500 continues, we'll talk to you all next week. Yeet.
Bye-bye, bitch.